everybody, my name's Carrie. Thank you so much for being here. I am recording today on Thursday, August 4th, 2022, and thank you so much for being here. I am really trying to stick with my every 2 weeks. It's been very hot here, and so I haven't been spending much time upstairs here in my craft room. And today is cooler. It's going to be in the upper 70s, so it's not too bad in here right now. So I thought, let's get a recording done. So I'll probably get this uploaded tomorrow on the 5th, but I can at least record today. So thanks for being here. Since the last time I recorded, I did go camping. And we went to Alsea Falls, which is, if you're familiar with Oregon, it's west of Corvallis, which took us about 3 hours to get there. It was a new area for us. We had never camped there before, and it was nice. It was lovely. It was right along the Alsea River, which was more like a creek. So not a ton of water, which was kind of surprising because we've had so much rain leading up to summer. But it was lovely nonetheless. We got to get in a couple of hikes. One of the hikes we did, we were walking along the trail, and we usually have Violet off leash because she stays with us, and she usually walks between us. I usually walk in front. Jim walks behind me because he can see over the top of me, and she just stays between us and is really good about it. So we're walking along, we're hiking, just going down this little trail, and I hear rustling off to the side, and I turn and I see a skunk. And I just said, grab her. And he just grabs her and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, there's a skunk right there. We were probably 20 feet away from it. And it's just like moseying through the brush and through the, in the forest. And it was like, oh crap. So of course I have to take video. I have to take pictures of it, and we just kind of watched it. Like, where is it going to go? How far can they spray? It didn't seem like it saw us because it kept kind of sniffing the air like, I know you're there, but I don't know where you are. And so we didn't disturb him, and we kind of watched him for a little bit, and he started to mosey, and so we're like, let's get out of here. But then we were very cautious for a while because, like, if he has friends or family that's following him, we need to make sure we don't scare them on the trail. So that was exciting. Of all the years we've hiked and camped, we've never come across a skunk. We have skunks. We have skunks around here. Because every once in a while I'll go to let her, Violet out, and it's just like, oh crap, there's a skunk cruising the neighborhood or something, because you just smell them. But this guy didn't smell. We didn't smell him at all. Either approaching him or leaving, we didn't smell him, but it was exciting. So, and I had just put together a little kit of like de-skunking solution stuff, because the other day the neighbor's dogs were barking, and you could tell they were barking at something, and of course she has to run out to see what's going on. And as soon as I opened the back door, the skunk smell was so strong that I immediately was like, nope, you got to come in, and close the door, and the whole downstairs smelled like skunk. And so I think they startled one. I don't know if they got sprayed or not. I haven't talked to my neighbor, but I thought, I don't have anything. If she did get sprayed, I have nothing. And so I looked up, did a quick Google search, and with some baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and some detergent, I can make up a mixture to bathe her if she did get sprayed. And I thought, we should probably put one when we go camping, like take one with us. A little kit, because we have nothing. I have some shampoo, but I don't have anything like that. So I had just made that up, and it was our first trip of even putting that in the trailer with us, and we see a skunk. Now, luckily, I didn't have to use it, but I thought it was a little ironic. So that was exciting, and we had a lovely time. I came back and I got to meet up with Aaron. We met halfway. He lives in the Seattle area. He is part of the Fiber Hustle group there. And we just got together and at a park that we found online that was between the two of us, and sat and hung out. And we'd hoped to do a little bit of a hike, but the trail was really short and it didn't end up turning out to be much of anything. But the area was really pretty, and it was along a little river, and we just had a nice time visiting. So next time we'll try and go someplace where there's maybe more to do. But it was really fun. So did that, and then Last weekend, I did go on my quilt retreat with my friends. So there's 4 of us that get together occasionally. I've known these ladies for about 18 years and have been getting together with them and quilting for that long. So I found a cute little house on Airbnb that's only about an hour away that fit us perfectly. And it was just very lovely. And during that weekend, I finished all 3 dog quilts. So I will be showing that to you. They are now ready for me to get them on the long arm so that I can quilt them, but they are finished and they turned out adorable. I got the one done with the purple paw prints, and then I had to put together the other ones. I did the one with the purple paw prints. I just grabbed one, like, let me just finish one to make sure all my numbers, because I kind of made up the pattern. You can watch previous episodes about that. I'll talk a little bit more when I show you the quilts. And then I was gonna make sure everything was gonna work. It did. Okay, great. When I go to the retreat, I can put these other ones together. And so I made basically in rows, put all the pieces together. And when I put the other 2 together, I swapped the rows by accident. And because I laid it out, I'm like, well, this doesn't look like the other one. And it's like, you know what? It's fine. It looks just fine. So they're a little bit different, but they're the same, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I was like, do I take that out? I'm like, no, it's fine. They aren't going to know. They don't care. It's fine. So I have got my fabric for the backing all washed. I need to press it, cut it, piece it to make one giant backing, so that when I load it on the long arm, I'm only loading one backing, and I will quilt the first quilt, get to the end of that, put the next one on, continue quilting, put the next one on and continue quilting, all on the same piece of backing, and then cut them apart and put binding on and do all that. I am going to try and machine bind them because I really don't know that I will get all 3 of them done. I hate binding, and to get all 3 of them done sounds a little daunting. So I'm going to try machine binding. They're not going to care. They're not going to know. They're not going to know the difference. I'm going to practice, make a little quilt sandwich and practice a little bit first just to make sure that it works. So hopefully that works out fine. So anyway, I think that just about sums up my last couple of weeks. I did move all my sewing stuff downstairs into the dining room because we had a little bit more over a week of like 100-degree temperatures, and it's just too hot up here. Like one day I came upstairs and the floor felt hot. It was just so hot because this room sits over the garage. The garage is coolish, maybe, not when it's 100 degrees out. So it warms up here too much. And then it's like you have an iron going and all that. It just gets too hot. So I set up downstairs and I've got myself this nice little area. And Jim's like, I don't care if it's down there. It doesn't bother him. So I might keep it down here till fall then, just because like today's cooler, I could sew up here, but this weekend's going to be 100 again, So I've got a couple other quilts that I want to get started. So it's like my quilting mojo's kind of coming back. I think it helps that I'm off work. Speaking of which, I gave my notice at work and I will not be going back this year. It was a really hard decision. We talked about it a lot. And as my parents are aging, it's become apparent that they need more help. And I'm not as available to them as I would like to be and as they maybe need me to be when I'm working, because I don't live close to them. I mean, they're a little over half an hour away, so it's not horrible, but I'm not just like down the street. And I need to be able to help them a little more than I've been able to. So I decided to give my notice, and I guess I'm officially retired, which feels really weird. It feels very weird. But I can tell that just being off work, during the summer here, my creativity's kind of getting a jump start again. I think just not being tired from work and not hurting from work, it's making me feel more creative. So that's exciting because I'm hoping that I'll have more stuff to share with you all. So let's get to it. I want to talk about the table runner that's on the back wall there. I was searching for I had made a backpack out of a sweater that I felted. And I thought that might be the perfect thing to have at Rhinebeck. I'm like, I need to find out where that is. I haven't seen that in a while. Made it probably 20 years ago, but it was really cool. Searched everywhere, cannot find it. And Jim's like, you would not have gotten rid of that. I said, I know, but I can't find it. So I'm like searching through everything. And in the meantime, I'm like pulling out old quilt projects, and I came across these blocks. Now this is from a pattern. It was a long time ago, and I don't know, does this date it? I don't think it does. It's been a long time. This was a quilt along from Amy's Creative Side, and it's called Dancing Stars. And you can make the whole quilt. And I didn't really know what I was going to do. I was just making blocks. And it's foundation paper piecing. And I was fairly new-ish to paper piecing, so it was a really good exercise in that technique. And then, I made a bunch of blocks, and then squirrel moment, got involved in something else, and then there it sat, thinking, oh yeah, I gotta get back to that, And I thought, you know what? Why don't I just take what I have done, see what I can put together, and I had enough to make a long table runner or a skinny quilt. So I could hang that on the wall if I chose. And so I laid it out, put it together with what I had. I just quilted it with some straight lines on my regular machine. And now originally when I moved all my stuff downstairs, I brought down my Singer featherweight machine that I have, which is really lovely to sew on. But I was struggling with it for paper piecing because it's an old 1950 something machine, and it's like straight stitch. That's all it does, forward and back. That's it. And when you stop, the needle will stop wherever it is. It doesn't stop up necessarily or down. And so I was constantly having to fuss with it because I was just doing little seams with the paper piecing. And it was like, I'm not enjoying this. So I put that away, and I have a brother machine that's got a big throat. And it's more of a semi-industrial machine, still a straight stitch machine, but it has a knee lift and it has a thread cutter. So I just set that up down there, and that's perfect for paper piecing because you're sewing along and you're actually sewing on paper, and then you might stop like in the middle. Well, then you're trying to cut the thread, in the middle of that. But with the thread cutter, it just cut it wherever I was, and I could just move on. So I did that, got finished with whatever I needed to finish there, and then used my walking foot on that machine and quilted straight lines. And now it's done. Instead of being in a container, stuck underneath something, it's done, and I'll get to use it. So that it was just done using some scraps. I was pretty new to using gray as a background because this was a while ago that I made this. Anyway, I'm happy that it's done. I even did the binding. Sewed the binding when I was on my retreat. Like, I made myself sit there and do it. I hated every minute of it, but I did it. And then I finished my dog quilts. So I'm going to show you one of them. So this is, they pretty much all look the same, but the paw prints are different colors. I followed the dog pattern from So Fresh Quilts called Doggone Cute. I explained this in the previous 2 episodes, so if you want more details, go back and look at that. This was made using flannel shirts that are my mother-in-law and father-in-law's, and I'm making these quilts for my sisters-in-law. So, da-da-da-da. It's really cute. I love how it turned out. So this one has green paw prints. There's one with purple and there's one with blue to represent each sister that's going to get one. So those will now go onto the long arm. And I remember when I was going to start them, I thought, gosh, I hope I could get them done by Christmas. Well, here it is, the beginning of August, and I could potentially have them done by the end of this month. And so I might, I don't know. I might give them to him early because it'll be really hard for me to wait till Christmas. And we don't really exchange Christmas gifts, so I don't have to have it for that. And Jim's birthday is at the end of the month, and he's turning 60. So we're going to have a family like get together party kind of thing. And I thought I could give them to his sisters then if I get them done. So that may happen. But anyway, they're ready to go. I've just got to get it. I just got to get it on the long arm. So that was, I really, really enjoyed making those quilts. That was just a lot of fun. I hardly used any of the shirt fabric. So I have a ton of shirt pieces and shirt fabric left over. I'm not ready to get rid of it yet. I asked Jim, I'm like, should I keep it in case somebody else wants? He goes, no. What you're doing is fine. Stop. Stop the crazy. You're not making something for everybody. But I'm not ready to get rid of the shirts yet, just in case. So anyway, it turned out so cute, and I am so happy with it, and I know they will love it. Now, I had originally talked about saving a pocket and putting it on the back with like a label in it, but now I'm not so sure. I'm not sure that might make it like a kind of a heavy spot. So I'm still kind of not sure how I'm going to label them. I may just stick a label on it. I'm not sure. So that's all the sewing stuff for today. And my knitting and crocheting, I've been fairly monogamous between two different projects. So I'm going to talk about that. I also have a winner. I talked last episode about this Stylecraft yarn that I have. I have 5 balls of this. This is called Cherry, but it's more of like a plum wine color. And so people left comments that wanted it. It was a whole drawing thing on last episode. And I got on a YouTube comment picker thing, and it picked, who did it pick? I forgot to write it down, but I took a picture. It picked Sandra Bendig. So Sandra, if you're seeing this, contact me. You can email me at thecreativeobsession@gmail.com if you would like. You can find me on Instagram at Carrie Makes Stuff, and you can message me there. But get a hold of me, let me know what your address is, and I will get those balls of yarn sent out to you. So hopefully you make something that you love. Okay, so for the things that I've been making, now I showed you that I had just started a sweater with some yarn that was gifted to me that, and I'm keeping it in one of my favorite bags. This is my Erin bag by the Scrappy Angel that I added handles. It doesn't come with handles, but it's a great bag because it sits open and I love it. So this is the Heat de Fude sweater. Let's see, I'm on a purl row. Let me flip it around. So I was here and I've done all of that. So this is more of like a raspberry color. The whole sweater is this lace pattern. And I was kind of hoping that like maybe I could get it done for Rhinebeck. I don't think it's going to happen because this has taken, this has been what, a couple of weeks, and I've been working on it pretty regularly, and this is just a sleeve. So it's constructed very strange. It's making the sleeve, and then I think you go across the back and make the other sleeve, and then you have to make the whole body. For as long as this is taking me, there's no way I'm going to get this done by Rhinebeck. So I'm kind of taking the pressure off myself and just being like, it's okay. It feels so nice. This yarn was Bear yarn that was given to me for my birthday, and it is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So like I'm gonna want to be naked under this, but it's a little holy. But anyway, it's gonna be lovely. It's gonna have lovely drape. It's a beautiful color. It feels so nice. It's just slow going because it's lace. It's not something you can go really fast. So I am still gonna be working on this. This is almost a skein. I started introducing another skein to go like every other row until that first skein runs out, so that it blends if I'm mixing the colors. So it's an easy lace pattern. It's just that everything's lace. There's no like resting row, so to speak. So it's okay. It's going slow, but it's okay. I can live with that. And then I decided to start a crochet project. Now, I've talked about my struggles with crochet. I can make a granny square. Pretty good at doing that. I can't seem to follow a pattern very well. I really struggle with it. I'm like never clear where I'm supposed to put my hook. And I understand like the single crochet, the double crochet, the triple or whatever, you know, like I understand those stitches. It's more like where I'm doing the stitches that gets me confused. And I'm going to learn. But in the meantime, I decided to just design my own my own thing. So what I decided to do is make like a pullover, like vest type of thing. And I thought, you know, I see these boxy kinds of sweaters. They're pretty popular. And it's basically just a rectangle or a square. And then that gives you kind of a short sleeve because it's just going straight across. And then that becomes a sleeve. And I'm like, that's perfect. And it'll wear more like a vest or short sleeve sweater. And, I thought, okay, well, I can do granny squares. So let me just make a bunch of granny squares. I'll connect them all together. I'll make a rectangle, make it into a sweater. How hard could that be? And actually, it hasn't been very hard. So I've got the front done. And what I've done is I've taken all the minis that I've had. So I separated them out into like blues and greens. And then I've got like pinks and purples, and I'm doing double strand. So it's been so fun to pull two colors that kind of go together, and then you switch one color and it looks different because one of the other colors is different. And I'm just having so much fun making these. And when we were camping at the Alsea River campground, I primarily worked on those. And I made enough squares on that weekend to put the top together. So I looked online of how to connect granny squares. And TL Yarn Crafts, who's Tony, does a lot of crochet like tutorials and stuff. So I found her on YouTube. She showed a couple different ways to join together, and I knew I wanted the join seam to show. And I had this wild idea up in my head to do with like a chartreuse bright green. Happened to have two skeins that were similar enough that they go together because I'm doing fingering weight held double throughout the whole thing. I am using a 6mm hook. 2 strands of fingering. I'm going around 4 rows. It's ending up being 4.5-ish inches. And I chose that size because I can get 2 blocks out of 1 mini. So let's see. Like I have this little mini. So this is probably 5 grams. This is probably 5 grams, which I can only get 1 square out of it, doubling it with something else because the squares are about 8.5 grams with the yarn held double. But if I have a little mini skein like this, which is a little longer, I can get 2 out of this. So I would do 1 and switch the other color that's with it and get 2. So I kept it at that size because that was a size that even these little ones I could make a block out of. If I went bigger, then this wouldn't be enough. Make sense? Okay. If not, sorry. So it's gonna look weird, I think. I hope it looks cool, and I figure of all places to get away with wearing something like this, Rhinebeck's gonna be the place. So this has kind of been my focus to get finished because I know I'm not gonna finish my Heat Diffuty sweater, but I can finish this. So here's my front. I even learned how to make half squares, triangles there. So I have a V-neck, and I will make the back and connect it. And see, I've got kind of a short sleeve, and I've joined it with a slip stitch join and out of that bright green. And then I have 2 skeins of this, so it's kind of an aubergine purple. One's got a sparkle and one's not, and that's going to be like the neckline. It'll go around the sleeve and it'll go across the bottom. So I'm going to look like I'm wearing a blanket, but I'm going to hopefully not look like a complete idiot. But I will for sure wear it here at home. And I just wear it with like a long sleeve t-shirt or something underneath. So yeah, I think it'll look okay. Anyway, the back I'm just going to do as a rectangle. I'm not going to have this shaping, so it'll just come across the back. Hopefully that wears okay. It's fairly heavy. Not heavy. Well, it is, because it's basically like worsted weight, I guess, if I've doubled up on the fingering. But, it just kind of laid it out so that colors weren't together, kind of mixed and matched them. But I think the green just adds that really fun pop. And then with this here, I think it's going to look good. The drawback is there is a million trillion ends because everything's double stranded, which I'll treat like a single strand. But you've got your starting and your ending, and then starting and ending on each connection. And there's a lot of fringe going on. So that'll take a while to sew all that in. But I'm not going to sew it all in until I make the back, connect it, and make sure it even works. If it doesn't work, I can always take that slip stitch seam that's joining it all together, take that out, and then just start putting stuff together as a blanket or something. Because they've been really fun to make. So I have quite a bit still of the minis. I'm even saving my itty bitties. So I've even got like, this is kind of what's left over. There's not that much, but I thought if I get down to it and I need to, I can do 2 different colors. I start in the middle, and I did do that with one. This one, you can see that it's the pink here, and then this is a different color. So I think it looks cute. And yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I might look like a hot mess. Who knows? But I'm enjoying making it. I'm really enjoying making it. And that's what matters, right? And I'm keeping it in this great bag. I don't know who I got this from. I did not make it myself, but it is a great bag. It doesn't have a label on it because she didn't put a label, so I don't know who it is. But I got my directions for how to do the granny square in there. And I've got my little scale so that I'm weighing, like, is this ball enough to make the square or not, and I've got my hooks. I just made a crochet chain to attach my scissors so they don't get lost, and that just slips in a little pocket. So it's been a great bag for my crochet stuff. I don't know who it came from, but it's a great bag. And then when I met up with Aaron, he has been dyeing yarn, which he's doing a wonderful job. So if you follow my channel or follow me, you know that he came here like in March, and we did some dyeing, and I kind of showed him like how to get started with it, and then he's just run with it, and he's doing a fantastic job. And when we met, he brought me a couple skeins of his yarn. Isn't this awesome? I mean, oh my gosh, I love these so much. I think they're going to make a gorgeous shawl. So I've decided I'm going to do the Dotted Race by Stephen West, because Kevin and Ray at Needles at the Ready and Michael at Piece for Piece Crafting are co-hosting a knit along that I think started on the 1st of August and goes through November, I think. It's kind of a long one, and it's to make a Stephen West pattern. So I'm going to use Erin's yarn and make a dotted race. I'll make the big one and use 2 skeins because, oh my God, like look at that. It's so pretty. They're both so gorgeous. So I'm excited to start that. And I'm kind of holding off because I need to get what I'm going to wear to Rhinebeck done. And I've only got like 70 days left, which I should be able to get the crochet. When I'm putting those crocheted blocks together, that's taking a really long time because I have to go through, I'm using a larger hook, one size larger hook. So when I'm joining, it's a 6.5 millimeter. It's a K hook. So that's what I'm using to join them because Tony at Teal Yarn Crafts suggested it to keep it loose. So I'm sticking a hook, a bigger hook in a smaller hole, so it's a little like get it in there, and I have to make sure I catch both strands because I'm crocheting it with 2 strands on both sides. Same thing, you know, and it just goes very, very slow. So making these is super fast and easy. Sewing them together is a bit slow because I do want that seam to show. I could probably do it a different way, but I wanted that green to show. So those are my projects going forward as far as my knitting and crocheting. I might start this though. Since the hit to few days not going to work for Rhinebeck, maybe I could get this done. No, I can't. I don't know. I probably will. So that is it for right now. That's all I've got. That seems like I was busy. I think I was. I mean, putting 3 quilts together is busy, right? Thank you so much for joining me in my little ramblings today. And I will hopefully see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, hopefully you're staying cool. And I will see you later. Bye.